Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you are doing well today. MB&F has released a new edition of their EVO range of watches. They have taken their LM Split Escapement and added it to their EVO line of collection. If you aren't aware, the EVO line, which was conceived for an active lifestyle, is basically expanding. And they first used this in the LM Perpetual EVO, which was basically a sport version of their perpetual calendar that was designed. And they also released an LM Sequential EVO, which is their first ever chronograph that they released. And now they have the LM Split Escapement, which has the EVO treatment. If you had been paying attention, you may have noticed that the LM Split Escapement EVO was first quietly introduced as a limited edition for the UAE's 50th anniversary last year, available exclusively at their Mad Gallery in Dubai, but they've decided to make the LM Split Escapement EVO available worldwide in different executions with an icy cool light blue dial plate and gray subdials. This is a really cool step forward for MB&F. I am a huge fan of their EVO line of watches. I think it's a nice natural step to cater to those who are interested in sports watches, and obviously steel sports watches are the big rave right now, and they will continue to probably be the rave, so it was very exciting to see this take place. In addition, they are releasing a limited edition of 25 pieces reserved for their MB&F lab opening in Beverly Hills with a black dial plate and metallic blue subdials. This is the first of a series of limited editions reserved exclusively for their MB&F labs, a new retail format building on the success of the MB&F Mad Galleries, but adapted to spaces not quite large enough to host a fully fledged gallery. This year should see the opening of the MB&F labs in Paris, Singapore, and Beverly Hills. So if you are in any of those locations, it's an opportunity for you to see some of the MB&F products, maybe not in a gallery, but in a lab format. If you aren't aware of the EVO releases, the EVO case design first came out in 2020 in the form of the LM Perpetual EVO. It basically features an 80-meter water resistance, a screw-down crown, and an integrated rubber strap. It also has Super Luminova on the display and a bezel-free design. But the EVO concept goes a little bit deeper. Inside of the case, the movement is actually suspended in a shock-absorbing flex ring system that dampens any kind of vertical or horizontal shocks that come from real-life adventures, which make these watches capable of being taken on those adventures that you go on, which speaks heavily to life on the wrist and what I enjoy about watches, which is really the adventures that you can go on and the stories that you can tell about those pieces. After the LM Perpetual EVO, the EVO case worked its way into the Legacy Machine collection, most recently with a bang in the form of their first ever chronograph, the LM Sequential EVO. The chronograph features 4 different ways of recording time, which is really exciting. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the show notes of this podcast so you can read our article and see our video about the LM Sequential EVO, because it really is a revolutionary way of creating a chronograph that caters to 4 different ways of tracking the elapsement of time. In addition to the EVO treatment, the LM Split Escapement EVO features another modification compared to the original LM Split Escapement, which is kind of crazy. What they did was they actually took the entire mechanism and rotated it clockwise by 30 degrees, which really changes the symmetry of the watch and gives it a completely new character. It has 72 hours of power reserve and features a user-friendly, foolproof, rapid date-changing system, which is pretty awesome. So when you look at these pieces, it really does look incredibly blue. The icy blue with the black sort of subdials, it looks absolutely phenomenal. I think the rotation of the mechanism actually gives the watch a really nice look. It reminds me of the LM101. Obviously not perfectly, the symmetry of the watch doesn't match up perfectly, but it does give it quite a cool look with the sort of time display at 3 o'clock, the date at where 10 o'clock is, and then I think the flying balance wheel obviously in the middle. It just looks really, really great. The rubber strap is a really nice addition to it, which I think makes it look quite nice. When you flip it over, it has this darker finish to it, which I think looks really nice. And case in titanium, it really does look quite phenomenal. The watch that is exclusive for the Beverly Hills MB&F Lab is also really beautiful. Black lacquered dial with sort of like these lines that you can faintly see in it, and then these really distinct blue feature for the time displays and all of that. It really does look extremely beautiful. It's quite nice that they're doing a limited edition for this Beverly Hills location. I think it's a big opening for something that they're really ramping up and it's going to be part of the MB&F sort of experience. I know that the MB&F Mad Galleries are a huge hit, and they're located in a couple of areas, Dubai, Geneva, for example, but sometimes you can't actually, not everyone is in those locations, and so it's kind of nice that they're going to have a couple more locations, being in Paris, Singapore, and Beverly Hills, which I think is going to be really great. Some people may criticize this as it's just taking one of their previous creations and putting it into a sports watch model, which really doesn't show a lot of creativity or pushing the brand forward in any way. I don't think you can really falter MB&F with that type of thing. They just released an incredible chronograph that pushes the boundaries of how chronographs are created. So I'm not too sure that you can really criticize them for this move. I do think it's nice that they're expanding their EVO line. I wouldn't be surprised if many of their legacy machines made their way into this line of watches, so that there was a sports version of these watches available, but we'll have to see what ends up happening. Regardless, congratulations MB&F on an absolutely successful launch. I'm really excited to see how this launch happens. I'm sure that you have a tremendous wait list for this watch already, and I'm sure those limited edition pieces that are going to be sold at the Beverly Hills MB&F Lab have already been allocated. So another cool release from you guys, and congratulations on the release. I'll leave the link in the show notes to the MB&F website where you can see the LM Split Escapement EVO. I'll also leave in the link in the show notes to our article and our video about the LM Sequential EVO, which is their first chronograph. I do think it plays a big role in sort of describing what this line of watches is and what the brand has released over the last couple of months. If you are new to Life on the Wrist, be sure to check out our website. We release editorials and YouTube videos about anything in the watch world, vintage to modern to watchmaking to all kinds of things. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to follow this podcast if you like watch content, and share this with a friend who might enjoy listening to some content about watches. Let us know what you think about this watch. You can hit us up on our social media accounts. Just search Life on the Wrist and you'll be able to find us there. And if you wouldn't mind rating this podcast, it really does help me out. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And until next time.